Hey golfers, welcome to Humo Golf. Going to show you how Bradley increased his clubhead speed by 10 miles an hour just by having a different understanding of how to create clubhead speed. This is part one. Let's get to work. So now let's talk about where does clubhead speed come from. So again, you just produced 112 miles an hour clubhead speed off one leg and a small portion of your right leg. Okay, this was 110. If you were to I'm going to ask you this single question. How much effort did the 112 mile an hour clubhead speed take versus 110? So these last two swings, which one took more work in your sense and what you feel?
I feel like when I did the full setup, I really tried to use my whole body, tried to give it all my force, and it was slower and more open than when I was on one leg. And I felt like I slowed down using the flamingo setup, but it was faster.
Okay, so let's talk about why that is the case, because so much we read right now, and if you guys, I know you guys watch everyone else's video, which I say do it, and there's people out there that say, oh, you gotta, really use the ground. Well, we have this massive earth, and we're going to go a little bit deeper into the science. We have this massive earth, this huge mass that there's nothing I can do to move this mass. Okay? Yeah, we have Newton's principles and laws, but those are also based off of in a vacuum. So there's nothing I can do to change, for me physically, to change any type of movement into the ground. I can use the ground to help me move, but it's my muscular system, my neuromuscular system, that moves the body. So it's really ground reaction forces are what we apply in a downward, forward, rotational aspect that produces ground reaction forces. So if you look at it, force plates, they're measuring whatever we have. We have acceleration of gravity, okay, negative 9.81 meters per second squared. Okay, then we have our mass, which is weight, and then all of a sudden now I have mass and my arms working this way, which is speed, which again, with mass, is adding to the ground reaction force, because again, those sensors on those force plates are just measuring what we are putting down, and then now we can utilize the stability of the world in order to move. So like this material right here doesn't give me as much stability, but I'm still putting the same amount of force into it. But if we measured that on a force plate, it would be less. Why? It's because of this material is absorbing some of my energy, okay, and it dissipates it. So really when we take a look at what creates speed, we got to take a look at the human body, and we can think of it as two sections. And we're going to use the lumbar spine as the midpoint of this intersection. So we have from the lumbar spine up is what is called an open loop system. It moves because why? His hands are free to move that golf club. We have a closed loop system, which why? The feet are on the ground because of gravity. So we have two different systems that we have to coordinate in order to produce clubhead speed. So if we only focus in on one aspect, which is, let's say, the lower body to create the speed, well, what does that do with the upper body? Now, I can move here. I could move my feet. I could try to dance, but that would be really ugly. I don't know if you can dance better.
I can't dance at all.
Okay, so neither one of us can dance, but we can both move our arms and move our body independently, but in the golf swing, we need to coordinate that. And when we sum all of that up, we create greater ground reaction forces. So arm speed is critical. Angular velocity. Bradley, you're what, 6'3"?
Almost 6'3".
Okay. So we'll get him 6'3". Long arms, you saw how wide of a stance he takes, creates a lot of time to create that speed coming down. If he's trying to swing this golf club by just kind of focusing on the hip rotation and the arms aren't doing anything, there's no way he's going to move it as fast. I mean, the research is out there. A lot of LPGA Tour players have faster hip rotation than men. Okay? Take two. Okay. We'll see this out there. We'll just keep running. Yep. Okay. LPGA Tour, so the research on LPGA Tour players and PGA Tour players on hip speed, we know the X factor. Besides it being a great marketing term, and I love the name, kind of cool, but it's not actually true. Hip speed is not a causation of clubhead speed. It is a component of clubhead speed, but it's not a causation. Correlation, yes, but then correlations are also ice cream sales and shark attacks. Totally different story. But if you know your statistics, you know what this correlation means. What we're saying here is that LPGA Tour players will have faster hip rotation, lower clubhead speeds compared to PGA Tour players. Why? Males have bigger upper bodies, generally longer arms.
We've got a big wingspan here.
A lot of angular velocity. Pecs, lats are bigger, so we can produce more clubhead speed. So really the upper body creates more of the clubhead speed than the lower body. And actually when we look at EMG, we actually see that this lead leg, this post, is working eccentrically through impact. Now what does that mean? That means the muscles are getting longer under contraction. If we're trying to rotate the hips, which would be a concentric motion, okay, it doesn't move this dramatically, okay? Force does not work in a curved line. Force is a vector, so we have what? Force is mass times acceleration. It's a vector, straight line action, okay, magnitude. And what's the other component of force? Putting him on the spot. He wasn't ready for this.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
So what's a vector? A vector has magnitude and speed. I think I gotta look. I don't know. So now I'm doubting myself. I'm thinking I'm missing something. Magnitude is speed. Oh, a direction. Sorry. Force is a vector, which has a magnitude and a direction, and it's in a straight line. Oh, jeez. It's the heat, man. I think we're on our third video today, so that's part of it.
In a warehouse with very little air conditioning.
But it's a great warehouse. Advanced Composites Institute does some phenomenal research here at the university, and we're talking about composite materials, and that's why we're here, because we're hopefully get into some golf club research too. So we've been talking about that the hips do not produce the speed, that we have to use both an open and closed loop system to create optimum speed. So then now how can we do that, knowing that if the body gets too fast in acceleration, arms can't catch up, will never produce the right speed. So we have to synchronize this arm speed with the posting up of the lead leg. Now, the flamingo drill is really from a top to about impact position. And that's the reason why we'll never max it out. Because really the body is useful from pre-impact through the ball. And when we look at the gears numbers, we see that upper body rotation is critical in order to, one, keep the club face square through impact, stabilize the motion, and continue this momentum through the ball, and gives us that extra distance. So it's that combination. We have to glue everything together, upper body, lower body, rotation through the ball of the body, in order to maximize our distance. So we're going to do some things now to work on speed. So first thing we're going to do, well, first of all, any questions with all this? Because now my question back to you is this the same thing that you believed you had to do to create clubhead speed?
No, absolutely not.
So what kind of talk about that?
Up until, having this conversation about how we create force and how we create speed, you hear it so often, all I think is, I got to get my hips through. And I think a lot of my problem is I'm thinking so much about rotating and getting my hips through, I'm pushing my body through, and I'm leaving my club face open, and that's my club path that we've seen time and time again. But I've always thought, you've got to get your hips through, you've got to get your hips through, you've got to get it rotated. And everybody that I've talked to says, don't worry about getting your hands through, don't worry, don't worry about the speed, just get your hips through. Well, I'm trying to create more speed, so I need to get my hands through.
Faster
I didn't realize.
Yeah, faster the hands are moving, now we can deliver that in the clubhead speed. And that goes into this extension towards flexion motion of the trail hand that really helps deliver that. So, and that's part of the reason, like I wear my watch on my right hand, right arm, is because I use this as more of just an external focus. Faster I'm moving this watch through impact, I know as I add that to the club, club head's moving faster. Club head, linear velocity or linear speed of the club head produces longer shots. It's simple physics. We know we have to be in that plus minus 3 degrees with the driver. Our goal is to get to 0, just so we know where 0 is, and then we can control all the ball flight. So now let's do a couple things. Let me see if we can get you coordinated and see if we can get to that 120 mile an hour club head speed. Maybe we can, maybe we can't, but maybe at least we can get some consistency. And that's probably more important than the 120, but
Absolutely.
Hey, who doesn't love to hit the ball further? So first thing I wanted to do, we're going to do this without a ball. I want you to hold this club head here. We're going to get up into the top of the backswing. Regular stance, but I want you to narrow it up a little bit. Because I really want you to feel like through impact, you're really putting a punch through impact. And let's make sure we don't hit anything with the walls. We're not hitting balls. But I really want you to feel like you're really opening yourself up. The hips do come up in post, up this way. So the hip movement is critical. We don't want to keep the hips. We're not trying to swing this way. The hips have to move up and through. We're going to see a little posterior tilt. We got to get the hips up. So that way, that carries us all the way through. So I want to start doing that without a ball. We'll do this right hand only.
Right hand only?
Yeah. Oh, let's flip the club around. We're going. Yeah. So, yeah, perfect. So we're going to narrow it up a little bit. Wow. So let's go ahead and take it up to the top and just hold it up to the top of your backswing. So one thing is we want to get into this throwing motion. Let that bend. Because you're going to think about throwing. Okay, we're not going to throw the club, but if you were going to throw it, you'd be more here.
Sure.
Okay, so from here, we want it to go ahead, let those arms go like the flamingo drill, and then chase it with that body and continue to rotate that body all the way through.
Full speed?
No, start out slow, because you need to find out everything. Yeah, because I don't want you to bottom out. We don't want to hit the ground at all with the shaft.
So get into more of a throwing position.
Throwing position.
Not extend
Correct.
it out.
Yeah, because we really want to throw that club horizontally or level. There you go. And let's start trying to build up that speed a little bit more and kind of get that hand. There you go. Let's move that hand right up to that club head, right up to the top. There you go.
Yeah. Back just a hair.
And so we want speed. We want really that whoosh that you hear is happening after impact. There you go.
I fell off balance. Went back.
It's okay. Narrow up the stance just a little bit. It's okay. Good. I like it. You're starting to get through the ball a little bit better. Good. Now we're going to this is where we're changing your swing, quietly changing your swing a little bit. Let's flip the club around. Narrow up the stance just a little bit, because again, this is just allowing you to move a little freer because you want to get a feel. Set up to it, take your grip. Let's pop the left hand off the club. So now let's take this back up into this throwing position again. Okay, so this would be what I would call a potential optimal position, but it's not necessarily optimal until you figure out where you like it. Let's move the left hand back on the club now. This is more of where you need to, I would love to see you be.
Wow.
For
totally
more speed.
Different.
Yeah, so from there, and you'll see the difference in video, that now you're loaded up, and now you can release all that power.
We went from here
to
here.
There. And that's the reason why I knew you had some more in the tank. We got to take advantage of, give you a little bit more angular. There you go. Bigger swing gives you more angular velocity.
I want to give that a swing.
And it'll be fun to look at that. So let's put the ball down there, and let's see what we get.
Had to find a tee. I thought I broke that other one.
We got plenty around here. Now the first swing you make, let's not worry about speed, because this is a new backswing position.
Okay.
So if you think about it, we're going to wind up to throw the ball as far as possible. You're out in center field, you got to throw it to home plate. Okay? If you stay still, you're never going to create optimum speed. Now again, even with the flamingo drill, there's still a lot of good rotation. But now, and that's the reason why I've also narrowed it up, because I want you to get comfortable with this movement pattern in sync with the arm speed.
Okay. So on this first swing, you want me to go with a more narrow stance?
Just a little bit, just a little
Okay.
bit. Not crazy narrow.
So I would normally start about here.
Cut
so
that
bring it in
right
about
there. Perfect. That's perfect.
All right. Scoot back a little from the ball.
Okay. So let's walk through the backswing again. Let's pop off the left hand. Let's take that right hand up into that throwing position. Here we go. Get that club up to here. Let's put that left hand back onto it. There we go. So that's more of the feeling. Yeah, and that can even set. You'll feel that. There we go. Now from there, you can create more club head speed coming down. Potentially.
Ready?
Yeah. That had to feel weird though.
Felt very weird.
Yeah, it was a totally different golf swing. Totally different golf swing.
Wow.
Not saying it's better right now, but that's a totally different golf swing.
It felt smooth. It was a completely different feel, but it felt smooth overall.
Okay.
I
Still got
definitely
that tee in there?
feel like when I came through, I got my body through way too fast. My hands were way behind.
Now, no one's going to believe this, but that's 123 club head speed.
That was 123?
Yeah,
Wow.
there it is.
And I've never hit over 119, ever.
So right now I should just stop and say, see how good these lessons are? So if you want to create 120-mile club head speed, just do what we just did with Bradley. And also, you have to be 6'3".
Yeah, you got to be 6'3".
You didn't tell him about the powerlifting.
I am a power lifter and work out 5-6 days a week. So that does help, but
A lot. So let's try that again. That was awesome.
I want to set this one up and think a little bit more about
Now control that
where
timing.
the hands are.
Yep.
Because overall, that felt really good.
Okay.
But as soon as I made contact, I knew my body got through too fast.
It's okay. That was the first time with the new backswing.
And it's a totally different,
Yes.
everything about it. The feel is
Yes.
different.
Yep.
I'm going to keep that narrow stance. Going here.
Sure, I'll take that. That's good.
I want to get a feel for it before I actually
Yep.
swing.
And now this is where I don't expect you to have perfect timing because it's a new
Yeah.
position. So that's when we'll go back and forth between feet together, flamingo drill and stuff like that in order to get better contact. But right now we're just working on a position, a sense of where you are at the top in order to create club head speed. So let's do one more just for the sake of it.
I was definitely
Oh.
slower because I was
Yeah,
thinking about it.
about it, yeah. 127 club head speed.
So it wasn't slower.
Oh,
So now the
man.
question is, do you think 130's in the tank?
Yeah. Okay.
And that's so far off the toe. I mean, that's barely
right.
making contact.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously, this isn't about, this is all about creating club head speed. Now,
Sure.
yes, we have to synchronize this up, but you're not going to lose speed synchronizing it up. You actually create
Yeah.
more speed.
Incremental, little
So
adjustments.
this technique, methodology, however you want, there's no such thing as a perfect method. It's just it's a guide, okay? Because everyone's a little bit different in what they feel and stuff like that. And I've had players say, I hear what you're saying, but I feel this, and this is what makes the ball go well. I say, great, keep doing that. So we have to let them figure it out, but creating a better position at the top gives him the opportunity to go as fast as he can and coordinate that his hands and arm speed along with his body to use the body more at the forceful time, which is through impact, to give him maximum speed. And now going back and forth between feet together, flamingo drill, new position, and a little bit of practice. It'll take a week or so. Man, you're going to be killing it.